Hey guys, it's katiejuly. It is Tuesday morning, so it's my weigh-in, and I'm making a really quick video before I go to work, so my hair is a little bit wet. Pardon that. I had a really eventful week this week, but first the numbers. I always forget to do those. So my starting weight was 290 even. Last week I was 255, and this morning I was 248.4. which is a loss of 6.6 pounds, and that's 41.6 pounds total. So that is crazy, 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 crazy awesome. It's funny because 2 weeks ago, I think I was 259.2 or .8, and I was like, oh, I'm so happy to be in the 250s, and now, bam, they're over, which is awesome. Not complaining at all about the speed. The other weird thing, though, so I feel like the first thing I think about when I hit a new decade or like a new little milestone, and I notice other people do this in their videos too, is think about when the last time is that I weighed that. And I don't know why, like, sliding down the scale is sort of going back in time. Do you know what I mean? But I can't help thinking about it. And I entered college at 255. So I was 18 and I was 255. And I entered high school definitely more than 200. I graduated high school definitely more than 250. But I don't, those 4 years were 50 pounds. I don't really have any record of how quickly I gained. But I know 250 felt like my set point for a really long time. And then I graduated college at like 260. And college was sort of weird because it's the only period in my life where I had about a year that I actually lost weight and maintained it. So the summer after my first year, I was eating 1,000 calories a day and only eating vegetables and that kind of thing. And I got down to 220. And then I maintained that for the school year kind of by, dieting, counting calories, going to the gym once in a while. And then that next summer, I went to Italy for the summer. And I was backpacking around and attending Italian language classes by myself. Really, really lonely. And that summer, I was determined to get under 200. So I wouldn't eat anything all day. I just have espresso, which was really good, but insanely unhealthy. And then at 6 o'clock, I'd have a meal. And in Italy, it was crazy because, obviously I was staying in like hostels and stuff like that. So the only way that I could weigh myself was they had these huge scales. I think they were for freight or luggage at the train stations, and you could go and put like 2 coins in, so it'd be like $1, and weigh yourself completely in public. And I was so obsessed with it that I still did it. Like now the thought of weighing myself in public is crazy. But then I was like, oh my God, I have to know. And I remember there was one day that I got in, and everything was in kilograms, obviously, so I'd have to translate 2.2 pounds or whatever. And I got in, and it was something like 98 kilograms or whatever the conversion was, but it was 198 pounds. I was like, oh my God. And I came back from Italy 198 pounds. And I think definitely within 3 months, I was 220 again, and by the end of that school year, I was 260. So my brief time, below the 250. So now being 248.4, under the magical mark of 250 is so exciting because obviously it's not a crash diet. Obviously I'm not starving myself. I'm going to bounce right back if I sneeze. But the other really exciting thing is I was looking at my BMI chart, and I'm 2 pounds away from not being morbidly obese anymore, from just being obese. It's just so funny that that's so exciting to be obese, but one whole category, I'll totally take it. Let me show you this before I forget. So I got this in the mail yesterday. Can you see this? Be Merry. Look at this cute card. And these are stickers, and this is totally 3D, but look how cute this is. And then inside it says, for a cold winter New York night, relax with a hot cup of tea and count your blessings. And it came with a thing of cinnamon tea, which I had last night. This is from my Secret Santa. Be merry, everyone. My Secret Santa totally rocks. Whoever you are amazing. And I actually also got 2 Hallmark e-cards that weren't like the cheesy, normal e-cards at all. They were really adorable and really, really funny. And I've listened to them more than once each. And it worked out perfectly because I got the first one early, but I wound up really looking at it on Saturday. And I had a really terrible weekend in terms of food. And it cheered me up so much. So much. And then to get the second card and then to get this card in the mail, I just feel super loved and cared for. So thank you, whoever you are, so much. The biggest thing about this weekend, which probably I'm sure contributed a little bit to my 6.6 pound loss, which is the biggest loss I've had since my first week is that I'm transitioning from soft food to solid food. And, it's trial and error, and it's being careful, and it's all this. But Saturday morning, I went to Whole Foods, and I got, chicken turkey sausages. So, the big, kielbasa kind, cut it in half, and it was chicken and turkey sausage without skin. And I'd had ground turkey before. I was like, okay, I'd had sliced deli turkey meat before. So I cut it up really thin, and I grilled it, and I had half. And I felt kind of fine, and then I felt not fine. And it was 5 hours of throwing up. Sorry if this is gross. But just being really crampy and achy and painful and lying in bed and then waking up and throwing up a little bit more and then a little bit more. And I don't know what it is doing in my body for 5 hours that it takes that long to throw it up. It's insane. Because it seems like in 5 hours it should be halfway through my intestines or something. But nope, it's right there. So I just felt really terrible. I woke up in the evening and felt better, so I had a big protein shake. Really later in the night, I had dinner really late, 10. I had, some cheese and some sliced turkey and was totally fine. So I got in all my calories and I got in my 60 grams of protein. And then the next day I woke up and I had yogurt or something for breakfast, totally normal. And I was like, I'm going to take it easy, da-da-da. So we had scallops, just grilled scallops. And I was like, well, white fish is actually one of the things I could be eating during my puree soft food stages. So this should totally be fine. And I had 1.5 scallops, and it was the same exact thing. I mean, it was actually kind of worse. So I started to feel blah. Okay, the other thing, not to totally make this very crazy, is that Sunday morning I also went to the gym for the first time, and I probably pushed myself too much. I did 45 minutes on the treadmill, totally walking. 3.0 is my pace. And I can tell that it's a lot slower. I used to be able to walk at 3.5, even when I was 40 pounds heavier, but I just haven't been in a while. And so walking home, I was like, oh, I'm pretty tired. But I was like, well, am I always going to be tired? Is this the sort of thing I just need to kind of push myself through? Or is this my body saying, no, you're seriously tired, cut it short? And I probably should have just cut it short. But I did 45 minutes, came home, burned 300 calories. Awesome. But then had scallops for lunch. And then it was my body collapsed. I mean, not literally, but I was need to take a nap, need to take a nap, and Becky was talking to me, and I was like, what, So I went and laid down and slept for 3 hours, and then woke up and started vomiting up my scallops. And it's one of those weird things where I don't know if my body was just spazzing out. I think it was the scallops. Maybe they're more fibrous than I realized. But it was another thing of that was the last time I finally threw up was 5 or 6 hours since I'd had the scallops. And I could tell it was the scallops coming out, but what is it doing in my body for that long? It was crazy. So Sunday, I was just forget it. It was 10 o'clock, and I was I'm not going to force down a protein shake or 2 protein shakes. I was whatever. So I wound up having 100 calories that day. And if you take away the scallops, 60 calories that day and 4 grams of protein. It was really abysmal. So yesterday, I was back to basics, take a deep breath. And I had only everything that I knew I had handled a ton before really well. So I had, yogurt, I had chili, I had a baked egg, which I made a video, and it is taking me forever to edit. So it is coming. It is on the way. And yeah, I felt fine. I felt super weak yesterday, and I'm sure that's probably because my body has already used up its reserves of spare energy. And having a day with almost no food just really threw me for a loop. So I felt more weak yesterday than I'd felt in a while, but I was fine. And today I feel back to being fine. So I think it's just, I don't know. It makes me really more hesitant, though, to try new foods. And I know obviously I know it's trial and error and I'm supposed to, but what did you guys do when you were moving from soft food into solid foods? I was maybe I should make a list. Obviously my nutritionist gave me, here are the foods to try first, here are the foods to try second, but I don't know if, back-to-back days was too much, or if I shouldn't have scallops, if I should have a tiny little bite of a scallop and see how that is. I don't know. So that was, highs and lows. Highs of going to the gym, which was good, lows of being really sick, but now I feel back to normal, and 6.6 pounds this week is awesome. My Secret Santa is awesome. Things are only going to get better. I just have to figure out, how to dip my toe in the pool of solid foods and not splash around flailing. Okay, hope you guys have a good week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.